Hey guys, how's it going? Ghostly Rich here today, and today we're going to be putting in a oil catch can. Now, I was using a pretty ghetto setup before because my PCV valve went, so as you can see, we have this here, and yeah, I've pulled out the old boost tap. That's why you're seeing that this hose is already off. I'll show you that in a sec. First off, if you're doing this, grab your cover, pull up here, and just get these to unsuction, engine covers off. Ta-da! Next hose to get rid of is this one. Will be sunk onto here. Squeeze on the sides so you can pull it off. You'll see there's a little barb here and a little barb here. So these two little grip points here, you just squeeze them and you work it off. After you work that side off, you'll work this side off of here. Boom. That hose is out of the way. After you do that, now we need to get rid of this plate right here. As you can see, it's a Torx. Let me figure out what Torx driver this is, and we'll go from there. The other thing you're going to need to do is, I might be able to do this with my fingers. Some people have to use a flat blade screwdriver. If you do a flat blade, what you do is you stick it right here, and you flex down like you would do with your finger. You're going to push here, and you work the coil out. This one's broken, so I'm not worried about that. But right here, push down, and you'll hear a small click. Click, click. There you go. And then just to make our lives a little easier, just wiggle and pull up on the coil, and these should just come right out like that. Put them off to the side like so. We're just gonna do the same with this one. Again, it takes some pressure. They're sealed in there for good reasons. You don't want moisture in there. There we go. Second one out. Musulman. And then now, as you can see off this hose right here, let's see, we're gonna squeeze. This one's got a 4-corner. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it in there, but this is the one going again to this Africa plate right here. This one was pretty easy. They've got the 2 thumb points right here. You're just gonna squeeze and wiggle. You'll see, just like the other ones, there's a barb. So that just pops off of here. Next thing you need is a T30 Torx. And then you're just gonna go around, and we're going to loosen off this big plate on here. And we're just gonna loosen them for now. I like to loosen all the screws first. All the way around the edge. Just go around the big plastic piece, and I'm just seeing if there's any hidden ones. There's one hidden right here under this coil. And then there's one right here, 2 right here, one there, one where my driver is, one here, and one here. So just take those all out. All your screws out here. Next thing we're gonna have to do is just give this a wiggle, lift it off. As you can see, mine's still pretty warm because I got smoke coming up. Oh boy. Now we're gonna flip this upside down because I'm gonna still need, for the new one, the gasket. That gasket needs to be reused. Now, see how it's all nice and dirty up and along here? We want to make sure none of that grime goes in here, but we also want to make sure we're going to get a perfect seal. So I've got this, which has some combustion chamber cleaner on it, and I'm just going to go around and I'm going to clean off this edge so it's nice and sparkly, and that's what you should do. Just go around here. Again, when you see a clump of dirt push away from the engine, you don't want to put that inside the head. So just do that. If you put this down here on the ground, you'll see that there's this little green tab. You're just gonna grab that, and slowly, I like to work it all the way around with your finger, and just do that. Work this gasket all the way out, but start at that tab. After you work it all the way out, we're gonna clean this seal up and inspect it to make sure, of course, that it's going to seal 100% for our new plate. Well, I've cleaned my gasket. There's no dings at all the way around it, so I'm very, very happy with it. Now we dig into the new box of parts. Again, this is the 303 catch can. This was still gonna work 303-4 catch can, and it works for a lot of the catch cans. Well, they all come with an Africa plate and some hosing usually, and if yours doesn't, then you probably want to get one with an Africa plate. They're a little bit more expensive, but it deletes that whole PVC system, and which is a headache, trust me. So let's get into the box. We're going to pull out that Africa plate, and then we can start building. There it is. I put the new seal in, so you can see it's nice and clean. The top of my engine is still nice and clean. So from this point, I'm just going to lie this back on, and then I'm going to put the screws in. The most important thing is, and I'll show you that when I go to tighten them, is don't tighten these all the way. We're going to put this on top, and then we're going to have to do almost like a star pattern. You don't want to just start crunching a gasket all the way around. It's nice to start on that end and then go to that hole, and then from that hole go to that hole, and just jump around and slowly tighten. Don't just crank it down right away, just slowly do it all the way around. So if you look in your 3034 pack, you'll see 8 new bolts. Pretty simple. Like I said, dropping your new 303s in here, and we'll go from there. They're also an Allen key now, so I'll let you know what size of Allen key they are. Look how beautiful that looks for right now. So the size of Allen key that we needed to use was a size 5. So I don't know, my camera's probably not, there it is, focused. There we go. So size 5 is there. Now you're going to notice that you have 8 bolts in one package, and in the second package you're going to have another shorty. Now that little shorty bolt, not the one with the nub, but the little short bolt, goes in this back corner. So tie the shorty in here, and then the 8 that are come in the regular package go right over here. And so once you've got them all just, you know, lightly in there, all you're going to do is see, I'll start here, tighten. There we go, that's tightened. Tighten. Go to this side. Oh, see, that one's now loose. Tighten. And you'll just keep jumping sides until it stops doing that. You're going to notice that as you tighten each screw down and the seal sits, that you'll be able to turn each one. Now, you could use blue Loctite, but if you use blue Loctite on these, I'd be worried about trying to get them out later. But again, up to the user. Just continuously go, and don't forget that one back there. But yeah, just continuously keep jumping around to each bolt, and just as you tighten them, once you go to each one and they're all tight, you're good. So just keep doing that for now. Alright guys, if you're looking at the old Africa plate here, ta-da, you're just going to grab onto the hose, wiggle until that comes out. You'll see another seal ring. Clean that up, and then put it in to the new Africa plate over there. Same way you pulled it out. There's no screws or anything, so just pull it out and go put it in there. So, as you can see here, all I've done is I pressed it in, put the screw in, and clicked this back on. I was going to show you guys, but you guys took it apart, so you should know how to do it. Like I said, I just put an existing bolt back in there. Now just take your coils, and it's time to put your coil assembly back together. I've got R8 coils here, if you're wondering why the heck are they that color. And that's probably why they're sitting a little weird right now, because they do sit a little bit more differently than the stock coils. There we go. And then just sink your coils back on. Just gotta line them up. There we go. Pretty easy. I think we're all locked in. Alright, now let's start this side, the fun part. So this is from a different kit. This I will be returning to the owner. I was just showing you guys here. This is what some boost taps look like. The one that comes with this kit looks like this. So how this is going to work is in this big hole right here, you're going to squeeze it in like so. See, all it does is once it's in there for a while, it changes, but you sink it in and you turn down. This piece of plastic right here makes sure that this does not push out when you hit boost. So make sure that tab is down. Now you got this hole here, and you're like, well, what am I going to do with that? Well, if you have a boost gauge that you need a boost tap for, you would Loctite this, seriously Loctite it with a red if you want, and then you would thread it in here. And then from there, now you have this, which goes to your boost gauge. Ta-da! But since I have a P3 gauge and I don't need a boost tap, I'm just going to take this little one that's already got red Loctite on it, and it comes stock with red, it comes from the factory with red Loctite, because you don't want that backing out. And from right here, I've just loosely threaded it on with my fingers, and now I'm going to find the Allen key, and I'm going to thread that in there. And you're going to thread that in there good, because like I said, last thing you need is this hitting boost and that launching around your engine bay, and you've now got like a bullet going around. Allen key I used is a 3/16 for this one, and just tighten it in here. I might even put it in a vise and go from there. I don't want to put too much pressure on this, just because it would suck if I broke any part of this in here, because that's an expensive piece to replace. So if you have a vise, you can always put it in a vise and then go from there, or just hold this with a wrench. I'll find out the size of the wrench and I'll tell you. Just hold it with the wrench and then tighten it with that, just so you have some extra force on there. So I've tightened it up. I even used a wrench. Tell you the truth, I just used a 1-inch, and that's a really big wrench. That's the only one I could get that was even close. But again, you know what? I didn't even get it any tighter. I literally held it here and I tightened it where I thought was comfortable, and I couldn't get it any tighter. I don't want to strip it, so I'm going to leave it right where it's at. So that's in there and nicely red Loctited. Now it's time to do the whole catch can actual system. That was the Africa plate system. So if you're only doing an Africa plate and you're going to be buying your own catch can now, this part is up to you. But other than that, now it's time for us to assemble this stuff. Look at the hosing that comes with this. Absolutely love it. All right, I'm going to get this stuff ready. Give me one sec here. All right, so with a 16 mil here, we're just going to go in here, get on here, and we're going to loosen. Switch this to loosen, and we're going to just loosen this bolt up. Very deceiving bolt. See, they put this on top. It's cool though, because they put this for a ground, so you could ground onto this bolt before. But this is going to come out. We'll put that off to the side. Our oil catch can is going to come over here and sit on top of here, like so. And then we're going to take a big long bolt, drop it in through there, and now it's time to tighten that big blue bolt in there. That Allen key was huge. I think it was about a 5/16, maybe a little bigger. This is an unmarked Allen key, so I can't even tell you what size I just used, but it is a big one. So I just put it in there. Now I've got everything ready to run from here to here. Time to see how it runs. I'm just putting the hoses loosely in. So the one that goes second inlet right here comes down and around, and then comes to right here, which is closer to the car on this side, closer to the car on that side. The second one, or the first one, as I should say, first one goes to second one here. All right, guys, so your 1-inch wrench, just take it, and then you're just gonna slide this on, and you're gonna just move it. And again, hand tighten them first, and after you've hand tightened these, they literally don't need much. Like, I've already hand tightened these, and I did it with one hand. I already know the system's not under pressure. This system isn't under, if it is under a bit of pressure, it's not much. Like I said, I've had it running out of that pop can right here with my homemade one just till I got this, and I can tell you the worst leak you're going to get from this is a little bit of engine smell, and if you smell that, close it up. But other than that, I've got it where I want it. I just tighten this, like I said, with one hand. I don't want to break my inlets, nor do you want to, like, you know, scuff up your brand new parts. But again, this isn't a system that's under a whole lot of pressure. This is all the pressure right here, so as long as you've got this nice and capped off, you're all good. Now from here, one part that we need to do still is this little tab right here, and we're gonna just screw that onto here. This, don't wrench it down, like obviously get it down there nice and tightish, but you don't want to like He-Man that, because one, you don't want to strip out your engine mount, and two, you want it tight. But you got to remember, if you're not doing the oil back to pan kit, you're not going to need to or you're going to have to lift this up to drain the oil out, unless you do it from the bottom, but then you're going to get it all over your stuff. Again, up to you how you want to drain it, but you're probably going to have to pull this off again to drain the oil catch can. If you're doing the drain to pan kit, it's super simple. I've been told all you do is where you're going to drain your oil out, and through your oil plug you're going to add a piece, and then on the bottom of here you're going to add a little L bracket that's kind of like this. It just screws it. You're going to pull out the drain plug on the bottom of the can, you're going to screw in that little elbow, and then after you get that little elbow, a little tube goes from there down back into the oil pan. If you're doing an oil catch can, I don't know why you would do that. Seriously, like, it bypasses the oil catch can. What's the point? I mean, it deletes your PVC system, but PCV, not PVC, whatever. Let's tighten this up, and that way we've got another, I believe this is just an engine cover mounting point. So again, don't wrench this super tight. Let's put it on. So the last part, of course, is to put in this ring clip if you'd really like to. If you want to, just undo the bolt right here in the center, and then it just clamps down and you screw it back in. I mean, put it as you want. They also give you a zap strap. I don't know, up to you. This sits nicely on top of the radiator here. You could zap strap it up here or do whatever you want. Again, up to you. There's a hole right here. I don't know. I think it'll be just fine like that. So just a little 8mm. Put it on here. Give it a little turn after you've hand tightened it, and it's good. Now you've got your engine mount cover back. And we're all done. That's basically it. Now, if you really want to, what I would suggest, go back, recheck all your bolts. Just, just to make sure. And other than that, I hope this helped you out. Press like if it did. Subscribe for more. I'm not going to go rip around the block because it's not really going to be much of a performance change. The only thing it's going to do really is add the oil catch can. So I would highly suggest that during the winter months, you might want to check this, around 2,500 to 3,000 kilometers. Don't ask me what that is in miles. But during the summer months, just do it every oil change. That's what I've been told by the manufacturer. And again, it's not a bad thing just to check it every now and then and see how your car is, how much is getting backed in there. How I was able to kind of go off of it is, if I look in this can, see that little bit of amount of oil? That's after 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So that just kind of paints a picture for you. All right. Thanks again for watching, guys. Peace out.